At the dawn of Rome's darkest hour, a legend was born, not in the marble halls of the Senate, but on the blood-soaked fields of Cannae. The year was 216 BCE. Rome was the world's greatest military power, its legions hardened by centuries of conquest and commanded by generals whose names echoed through history. But on that fateful morning, they faced a force unlike any they had ever known, a force led not by a grizzled veteran, but by a prodigy, barely 18 years old. Hannibal Barca, the son of Carthage, stood at the edge of destiny, ready to outwit and outfight the entire might of Rome. Imagine the pressure, legions numbering nearly 80,000, their standards gleaming under the Italian sun, their commanders supremely confident. To them, Hannibal was an upstart, young, reckless, doomed by his own ambition. Yet behind the eyes of this teenager burned a vision that would change the face of warfare forever. He did not see a wall of Roman shields and swords. He saw an opportunity, a flaw in Roman pride, and he was ready to exploit it in ways no one thought possible. The battlefield at Cannae was a graveyard waiting to happen. Hannibal's army was smaller, battered from months of marching and bitter skirmishes. His men were mercenaries, Libyans, Celts, Spaniards, who spoke a dozen languages, but were united by one thing, the iron will of their commander. At dawn, Hannibal arranged his forces in a strange, crescent-shaped formation, a risky maneuver that seemed to invite disaster. Roman commanders, seasoned and arrogant, saw only weakness. They ordered their legions forward, pouring into the center, eager to break the Carthaginian line and claim swift victory. But Hannibal's mind was always 3 steps ahead. The center bent and bent, but did not break. As the Romans pressed forward, the crescent closed around them, the wings of Hannibal's army snapping shut like a trap. Legions found themselves surrounded, their lines collapsing in confusion. Panic spread as the youthful genius revealed the true nature of his plan, a double envelopment, a maneuver so audacious and flawless that it is still taught in military academies across the world. In the space of a single day, Hannibal annihilated the Roman army. Over 50,000 Romans fell, crushed by the tactical brilliance of a teenager whose very name would become a curse on Roman lips. The blood ran thick across the battlefield, but Hannibal was not simply a butcher. He was an artist of war. His strategy at Cannae was not a product of luck or brute force, but of vision, calculation, and the fearless resolve of youth. While Roman veterans watched their world collapse, Hannibal remained cool, commanding, the architect of one of history's greatest victories. His men followed him not just out of duty, but out of awe, knowing they served under the most feared fighting force of the ancient world. Imagine the terror in Rome. Senators trembled, families mourned, and the city itself braced for the end. Yet, Hannibal did not march on Rome. He lingered at Cannae, his legacy forged in the ashes of defeat. His tactics baffled scholars, his age astounded commanders. Who was this boy who crushed Rome's greatest general? How did a mere teenager see what generations of warriors missed? Hannibal's victory at Cannae became the gold standard of battlefield genius. Commanders from Napoleon to Patton studied his moves, hoping to capture even a fraction of his brilliance. What happened to Hannibal after Cannae? Did this young conqueror claim the eternal city, or did fate conspire against his ambitions? The answer lies in the shadows of history, where genius and tragedy walk hand in hand. But one thing remains undeniable. At Cannae, an 18-year-old changed the course of history, forever earning his place among the immortal legends of ancient war.